And thank you for joining us today. This is Dr. Tommy Show Live. Welcome back from the weekend. This is Monday. Time to get your day going or get the week going. I'm joined here in the office with Tracy Hoyle, who's our clinic coordinator.
Good morning.
Good morning. How was your weekend?
It was wonderful.
We saw a pretty cool football game, or several cool football games, huh?
Yeah, we watched a lot of football
That Tennessee game was amazing.
It had an amazing ending, yes.
Tennessee down, let's see what Georgia was able to come back and go ahead of Tennessee with 10 seconds left. Game over by all rights, right?
Yeah.
Heartbroken at home, Georgia.
Of course, yeah.
And then they came back, and then their fans were so happy. Mm-hmm. And then Tennessee scores on a Hail Mary pass to break the hearts of the Georgia fans. It was felt bad for them, kind of.
You did, really?
Kind of. So, and then there was I guess the Buccaneers lost.
Oh, I didn't watch game last night.
I heard about it on the way in. The Buccaneers lost, so unfortunately that's...
I'm not even sure who they played, honestly.
I don't either. And that's the reason that, I like football from college standpoint, because I tune in for that. Mm-hmm. Every game matters in college, whereas in football or NFL, you could be 8-8 potentially and still go to the playoffs. Heck, you could be 8-8, and as long as you get in the playoffs, you can win. Mm-hmm. Whereas in college football, it's every game counts 100% almost.
I don't know why, but college football's a lot more fun to watch.
I think it's more unpredictable. Plus the passion too. Mm-hmm. You've been a college football game, then you go to an NFL game, and there's a lot of NFL fans that are very not dramatic, but very energetic. Mm-hmm. It's not to say that they aren't, but I think a college atmosphere overall is more about the passion of the game, and then there's the ties in that people have, their alumni and things like that make them want to be very passionate about football.
Right.
One of the things that we saw this weekend, I don't know if you saw it, is they said Donald Trump, apparently the main thing that they were talking about, bring out your taxes.
Right.
And turns out, I guess he hasn't been paying federal income tax. Guess why?
Well, he had a loss apparently, right? Or what?
Yes,
what was the reason?
he did. He did have a loss. So our Congress has passed a law that says, if you have a loss, then you can count that against your future earnings. So Congress passed that, right?
Okay.
The same people who passed the law that said, if you don't buy insurance, then you're going to get taxed. But that now is being portrayed as some kind of way around things. What do you think about that?
I don't know.
Well, I can tell you, it's stupid. I mean, whether you believe Donald Trump is a good candidate or not, the fact that they're going to bring a guy out and say, because Donald Trump hasn't paid taxes, no right, especially
paid no taxes for when? What year are they referring to?
I don't know. They're talking about he's not paying income tax because he took a loss. I didn't even read the article because I was already tipped off. Lawrence Kotlikoff tipped me off during our interview that we did a couple days ago. But anyway, he said that the reason that Donald Trump hasn't released his tax returns is because he hadn't paid taxes. Well, the tax law, written, like I said, by our betters in Washington, has made it to where that's the way it is. Now, whether that's right or wrong is not the point. The point is the law is the law. The law says that...
So he's not breaking any laws?
No, he's not breaking any laws. He'd be in prison if he was breaking laws. Maybe not.
Maybe.
But
maybe
anyway...
Most likely not.
It'd be like if we took a loss at Echelon Health, and then a couple years ahead, we were saying, okay, we don't have to pay taxes now because we took a loss in 2015. What were we supposed to say? No. Let me go ahead and pay them. Yeah, no, it's okay. I'll pay them. No,
obviously we're not going to do that.
I'm going to be big. Yeah, it's stupid. And then the other thing equally stupid is, Hillary Clinton. Now they found out that she said something about Bernie Sanders voters. And
she said something about Bernie Sanders voters.
Yeah, apparently she said that they live in their basement or something like that, and I don't know. Anyway, it was like some private recording, or somehow or another they've exposed her now, and now this is going to... That I read over that it said that this weekend is maybe the end of both campaigns. So silly. But I was just thinking about it, the media is so...
Well, I did see, actually you've seen it too, where those votes, those ballots were found.
That was fake.
That was fake?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a
figured
picture,
it was fake.
There was a picture that said they found 10,000 ballots that were in Ohio stashed away somewhere, and then Snopes. I Googled it, and so I said, Hillary ballots found, and it was fake.
Okay.
And it was actually, it's kind of interesting. That website was called christiansciencesomething.com. Anyway, they were trying to pretend like they were affiliated with the Christian Science Monitor, which is an actual legitimate newspaper.
Oh.
But this was a not the Christian Science Monitor, and they used their name.
Oh, that's nice.
To kind of make it seem like they were affiliated. So that's bad actually.
Yeah, it is.
But we fell for it initially, and then I
know,
Googled
and then I
it.
was like, that can't be real.
Because it'd be all over the place, you'd think. But then I Googled it, and it was fake. But anyway, yeah, Hillary Clinton apparently said that Bernie voters live in their basements or something like that. That's probably true.
Maybe.
I don't know. We were talking earlier today. We had a patient come in. We were talking about taxes because we were talking about the Trump thing. And the funny thing is guess when the government decided that it was okay to take money from every American who works income. Guess what year that was?
I would guess maybe the 60s, 50s. I don't know.
No, that was a social Medicare era. No,
okay.
And it was ratified in 1913. So that means that 36 of the states ratified. I think it was 36.
So Social Security came about in the 50s or 60s?
Social Security came about in the 60s.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. Social Security came back in the 30s.
Okay.
Medicare, which was called
Medicare,
the second grade entitlement, was in the 60s. But anyway, the point is that until 1913, all this talk about taxes, the federal government didn't find it necessary to use our money for taxes until 1913. And then for some reason they decided, well, we need more money. And actually when the income tax was passed, it was passed as a way to just get the very, very rich. It's supposed to be like hit 2% of people. Now, thanks to the income tax as well as things like what they call them, the payroll taxes. Every American pays taxes.
Right.
I was watching something with Milton Friedman. They were talking about the most regressive tax, meaning regressive means that poor people pay a higher percentage than the people who have more money. The most regressive tax is the Social Security tax, payroll taxes, because 15.2% of your income is paid as taxes. You pay half of that 15.2 as a employee, and then you pay half of it again. Your employer pays it.
That's right.
So as we know, every 3 months,
quarter.
We have to pay payroll taxes, and so that's 15.2%. So you add that onto federal income tax, and then what's all this tax for? And then where are we at? We're $19 trillion in debt. So what's the point of it?
Right.
And then you say, well, we need that money because of we need the money because we use the tax money for good things. Well, here's some things that happened prior to the income tax being passed. So prior to the income tax amendment, there's some things I'm going to read here. It says steamship travel. So that happened before the income tax happened.
Okay.
Transcontinental railroad. That was a big thing. They built a railroad all the way from one end of the country to the other. That happened before income taxes were passed. Westward expansion. So the West was completely it was nothing to the West except for just a bunch of wilderness. So that happened. Louisiana Purchase, that happened before income tax was passed. World's first skyscraper in Chicago was built. So the home insurance building was completed in Chicago, become the first modern skyscraper. Edison invented the light bulb. The Wright brothers' first flight, first mass production. Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin.
How in the world did they manage to do all that?
How did they do that without the Department of Airplanes? How did that happen? There was no Department of Airplanes to build the first airplane, and the Alaska Purchase and Spanish-American War. So all these amazing things we're able to do without taxing every individual American, 15.2% plus the income tax. I was talking when we were talking to Lawrence Kotlikoff on the previous podcast. We were talking about the reasons that people who are poor stay poor, because as you and I both know, you used to work for the government, local government, and you go into these homes where these people are receiving benefits, and if they receive all these benefits, and what happens if they make more money? Let's say they're getting all these benefits, and then they want to come in and I want to better myself. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to get a well-paying job. Then what happens to their benefits?
Yeah, they lose them.
Yeah, so
they're reduced.
Yeah, so they have a disincentive to work. So
right, I have one of my very good friends that happened to her. She was receiving Florida Healthy Kids for her children, and she wanted to get back into go back to work after having children, and then her premiums went sky high. They were not even affordable. And then so when she called, they said, well, you need to your salary is too high, which her salary was hardly anything.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, she wasn't able to work. She couldn't afford to carry health insurance for her children.
Right. And then there are people who say, well, it's because healthcare is so expensive. But you and I both know healthcare is not expensive. Mm-hmm. Healthcare is paid for is expensive. Right. To pay for it is, but to actually give it, we had that you had a thyroid test done.
I did, yes.
It was what? It was billed to your insurance for what?
I did it as a test.
Uh-huh.
I billed my insurance for a thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH,
Mm-hmm.
and it was Quest or LabCorp, one of the labs. Anyway, they billed the insurance company $200+.
And then we had a patient who went to Quest, and they accidentally billed the patient directly as a cash patient instead of billing our account, which they're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And they gave him a cash patient price, and his cash patient price was $100 better than the insurance price.
That's right.
And then if you look at what our price is $10.
$10. It's $10.25 because there was just an increase with the lab. But yes, $10.25 will get you the same test that my insurance was billed $200+.
So
and then our other patient was billed
$100 and $200.
Yes.
And so that's the price inflation that you see whenever you have all these unnecessary barriers between patients, and that's why they say, well, health insurance has to be so expensive. Well, it doesn't have to be. Mm-hmm. If we could just make things simpler like we do here, it would be better. The other thing I was talking about or thinking about is, over the weekend they were talking about, I was just reading about the Trump and the Hillary thing, and then how the media is they're just so jazzed about this because they're like, oh, this is it. And I was thinking about it, the media is like this cheerleader who's always trying to ramp up, they're trying to always make people feel. We saw that Onion video. Mm-hmm. If you want to see something funny, go Google Onion. Mm-hmm. What was it? Something breaking news happening now or something like that. Anyway, it's a takeoff on what the mainstream media does whenever they cover events. But I was reading this thing by George Orwell before, and it says that he's talking about, anybody familiar with George Orwell, who wrote 1984, but which took place actually written in 1948 to take place in the future, which was 1984. It's a dystopian novel, and he writes here. The lottery, with its weekly payout of enormous sums, was the one public event to which the proles paid serious attention. It was probable that there were some millions of proles from whom the lottery was a principal, if not only reason for remaining alive. It was their delight, their folly, their anodyne, their intellectual stimulant. Where the lottery was concerned, even people who could barely read and write seemed capable of intricate calculations and staggering feats of memory. There was a whole tribe of men who made their living simply by selling systems, forecasts, and lucky amulets. Winston had nothing to do with the lottery, which was managed by the Ministry of Plenty, but he was aware, indeed everyone in the party was aware, that the prizes were largely imaginary. Only small sums were actually paid out, the winners of the big prizes being non-existent persons. And so I think about that, and I think about, they're saying, Donald Trump didn't pay his taxes. Hillary Clinton said Bernie Sanders voters are living in their basements. In the meantime, you're getting wrecked over the coals, 15.2% at the bare minimum. Mm-hmm. And just don't pay attention to it. And also watch this Kim Kardashian video and be concerned about that. Be concerned about that. Mm-hmm. That's the things you could be concerned about. And don't be concerned about the fact that now the government is, some of our patients are getting punished for not buying insurance.
Unfortunately, yes, they are.
That's unethical. That's immoral.
I know I'm not going to have insurance come the end of the year, and so I'm going to be paying a fine if I choose not to purchase insurance.
Or you could go to health sharing ministry.
Or I can do health sharing ministry, which is most likely what I will end up doing.
But you should be able to get a reasonably priced insurance plan, but you can't do that now.
No, I did go online to see about what it was going to cost me, and it's about $300.
Yeah.
To pay for health insurance. I'm not gonna $300 a month.
We're not anti-insurance here. I believe very strongly that insurance companies form a very valuable role. They absolutely have to, because insurance pays for things that are rare, expensive, and unpredictable. And back when I was buying insurance, there was a way to get insurance that was for catastrophic things. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to buy insurance to cover health problems that were rare, expensive, unpredictable. And that's impossible now because the Affordable Care Act has made it to where you can't do that. Mm-hmm. And I used to pay $150 a month, and they wanted $250, and then they wanted $300, and who knows what they want now. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem, is that insurance companies are not allowed to be insurance companies. They have to be these companies that provide this panoply of benefits, that all these intricate measures that the government's going to make you. You're going to have to sign up for them yourself, and then the doctor's going to have to come in and do all these click boxes, and it's just ridiculous. And there's no way that's going to have. There's no way that can go forward in today's society. We're watching football over the weekend on Sling TV. So Sling TV is a way that you can get TV without having to pay for a cable bill. So you can actually pick which channels you want. Well, that's the way it is. I mean, that's the way it's going to be in the future. If I want to ride right now, I can go on Uber and get a car sent to my house, and I don't have to go find some yellow cab. And so I think the way of the future is the insurance company, the health insurance is going to have to be more amenable to the needs of the customer, and not this top-down mandate from the government that says insurance companies have to give you this, and then the doctors have to do this, and then think about it. When we were working in the insurance-based practice, think about when we tried to build Medicare, how intricate that was.
Oh my goodness, it was awful.
And now we can use Atlas MD, and that's our podcast sponsor. And Atlas MD, we can go and this morning I was on the road coming into office, and I checked an email from a patient driving. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah,
Checked
I've
email
told you
from
you
the
should
patient,
not be doing that.
and then I pushed text to email or whatever, text to words, voice to words, and I texted her back, but I sent it all within the email. Now it's all stuck in Atlas MD, so we can see it, and it took me seconds. And so that's a good reason why we use Atlas MD, and I invite you to use it. And if you're a physician out there and you're interested in Atlas MD, go to AskDrTommy.com and click on the special offer for Atlas MD, and you can get 2 months free. And I think that's all I wanted to cover. Anything else going on the week? Don't forget that October 27th, if you're in the Tampa area, Ask Dr. Tommy event will be a Halloween show where you can come dressed as someone from The Sopranos.
Breaking Bad, Dexter, Beverly Hills 90210, and Melrose Place.
And then you should probably talk like that person too.
Also, we should mention that Dr. Anahita Azarian is having an open house.
When is that?
November 3rd, I believe.
And that's
is that a Thursday, I believe?
Okay.
6 to 9 o'clock. It's a mommy makeover.
Okay. And we're going to
grand opening.
We're going to have her on to talk about that too. So what's a mommy makeover?
I think it talks about, if you have children, tummy tucks and boob jobs and whatever.
So Dr. Anahita is our neighbor across the parking lot, and she is a plastic surgeon. And if you've seen any of her podcasts, you can, or if you want to see any of her podcasts, go to AskDrTommy.com. And there's also, I think all 3 of her podcasts have videos too.
I believe they do.
And her first podcast, for whatever reason, is the absolute number 1 podcast in Ask Dr. Tommy history. It just gets hundreds of listens a month. It's put somewhere on some playlist, I'm sure. It's fine with us, but it keeps getting plays.
Yeah, it's good for her too.
Yeah, it's good for her. And then as far as the Ask Dr. Tommy event, I think if people come, they should be able to talk like the person. So,
well, they better start practicing now.
So let's go ahead and you talk like your person.
I haven't decided for sure who I'm going to be.
You know what? I want to see who could I be. I'm not even sure who I could be.
I mean, I have someone that I could be, but I don't really know if I want to be her yet.
I won't come as the guy from There Will Be Blood instead.
You could do that, but that's not an option.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
That's not an option.
What was it? What was he saying? That one thing I like to say.
The milkshake?
Yes. I drink your milkshake. I have a straw that goes from all the way over, and I drink your milkshake. Then what was his name? I can't remember.
Eli,
I drink your milkshake.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Sad.
I have a competition in me. I don't want anyone else to win. That was a great movie.
It is a great movie.
It's extremely sad, though.
It is extremely sad. I can't imagine ever watching it again.
It shows the dark side.
I cried through most of it.
It shows the dark side of people. Yeah, if you haven't seen that, it's There Will Be Blood. It was in 2008, I think. It's a great movie. Daniel Day-Lewis is he doesn't act, and he's not like who was that actor? I think it's in a movie maybe a month. Anyway, Nicolas Cage. He's in a lot of movies. No, nothing against Nicolas Cage. Everybody's got to make a living. But Nicolas Cage is in a lot of movies. Daniel Day-Lewis is in a movie once every few years. And so usually his performances is just like, watch out for Daniel Day-Lewis. He's going to be in a movie. He was in Lincoln recently. This is Steven Spielberg. I never got this chance to see that.
I haven't either, but I did want to see it. Yeah, he is a great actor. And, it was sad.
What was Eli's brother's name?
Eli's
Paul.
brother,
Paul. Now, Paul, if I go there and there's not oil, I'm going to come and I'm going to get my $500 and I'm going to get more. That's okay with you. I like that movie.
I did too. I mean, I guess I liked it, but God, it was just so sad. I really don't want to watch movies where I cry through the whole thing.
It shows a very dark side of person. If you haven't seen the movie, I really recommend it. And
I think it was just because what happens to the little boy.
You're an orphan. You're a bastard in a basket. I found you in the desert. There's none of you and me.
Yes.
Bastard in a basket. That was a great movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for today. If you're interested, go to AskDrTommy.com and see more Ask Dr. Tommy. We've updated the website where I have the commentary listed, and you can actually click on each person and see their profile. So Bill Cosart's out there. There's Tommy McElroy. There's Rob Tavis. There's Jeff Gold. There's Rob Klein. There is Brian McKenzie. Brian McKenzie's in Central Asia. So, Brian, if you're watching, hello. How you doing, buddy? I just talked to him last night on BB. Anyway, for all of you out there listening, if you'd like to hear more about the Ask Dr. Tommy show, go to AskDrTommy.com. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube. And also be sure to subscribe on iTunes to listen to the podcast. And we look forward to talking to you later. And until next time, bye-bye.